This commentary will summarize contextual behavioral science, creating a science more adequate to the challenge of the human condition by Steve Hayes et al., and About Teleological Behaviorism by Howard Rachlin. The first breaks down concepts that contribute to a new science, like the strengths of contextual behavioral science, the role of functional contextualism, psychological flexibility, and relational frame theory. The latter focuses its efforts on emphasizing the differences between molar and molecular methods, identifying what is and is not teleological behaviorism, pointing out aspects of overt behaviors, and determining the importance of context. These articles explore various aspects of behavioral science and collectively supply a slew of new information to the psychological field. With their concepts of contextual and theoretical science, an extreme allowance for scientific progress has been created. Together, Steve Hayes, Dermot Barnes-Holmes, and Kelly Wilson authored an article for the Journal of Contextual Behavioral Science titled Contextual Behavioral Science: Creating a Science More Adequate to the Challenge of the Human Condition. It surrounded ideas like the superiority of contextual behavioral science, functional contextualism, psychological flexibility, and relational frame theory. This writing was formulated entirely to address aspects of contextual behavioral science, stressing its supremacy over traditional psychology. Contextual behavioral science, or CBS, is practical and principle-focused. Its layered methods make it the most adequate in assessing the human condition. They found it important to apply functional contextualism to predict and influence organism interactions and serve as a more descriptive method. It emphasizes the effect of influence and the fact that it was a central idea rather than just an underdeveloped side concept. Another perspective that this writing addresses is that of functional contextualism, a variety of scientific contextualism focusing on an organism's behavior relating to their experiences and environment. Psychological flexibility is a focus of CBS, representing its core concepts like acceptance, values, committed action, etc. This writing calls out for more research to be done regarding psychological flexibility and its relation to individuals' adjustment capabilities. The writing once refers to relational frame theory as an analytic abstractive theory. It highlights behavioral principles. It worked to prove that operant processes made it possible for relational learning to occur. This piece serves as a vast source of education regarding contextual behavioral science, while also pleading for a further exploration of it. The article from the behavior analyst about teleological behaviorism was written by Howard Rachlin and serves as an introduction to teleological behaviorism and what distinguishes it from other concepts. It works to differentiate molar and molecular methods, clarify what constitutes teleological behaviorism, address patterns of overt behavior, and discuss the role of context. This writing takes the time to address teleological behaviorism and what sets it apart from other concepts, like that of Skinner. These are distinguished by the fact that teleological behaviorism takes a molar approach and Skinner takes one that is molecular. This concept of molarity revolves around correlation, and the molecular methods are more concerned with proximity. This writing clarifies that teleological behavior is and is not. Teleological behavior is not methodological behaviorism, a form of stimulus-organism response psychology, psychological operationism of Boring and Stevens, mentalism, or radical behaviorism. Teleological behavior is related to 6 fables. The fable of Plato's Cave, the fable of Descartes' Jack and Jill and the Bad Fairy, the fable of Geoffrey Gray and the Behaviorist, the fable of Sidney Morgenbesser, Dolly 1 and Dolly 2, the fable of the New York Knicks, Will Never Learn to Play as a Team, and the fable of the Time Bug. Many of these fables served to stress the presence of overt behaviors, which can take many forms like knowledge or pain. third fable mentioned, what the third fable mentioned actually contributes to the idea that all mental activities are simply patterns of overt behavior, while consciousness can be identified as the observation of said patterns. The concept of context was highly regarded in this text. It basically pertains to the environment and causation of behavior. Behaviorists are the most suitable psychologists to analyze these contexts, because they're capable of providing perfectly appropriate insight regarding such. This article aimed to provide a framework for behavioral studies and reach further into the progression of understanding behavior and psychology as a whole. Together, these pieces contribute to the rapidly changing study that is psychology, behaviorism specifically. The first does more to contribute to the prediction of behavior and explore contextual behavioral science. The second focuses more on viewing consciousness as a result of observable behavior, instead of internal stimulus. Both pieces placed a strong importance on context and investigated it in different ways. They are also shared relation in the aspect of an aim for further advancement, each believing their respective theories to be correct. In terms of variances between these pieces, the first sheds light on creation of framework, and the second is more focused on the clarification and refining of predisposed knowledge. They also differed in terms of their extent of analysis. The first observing live interactions, and the second understanding overt behavior through pattern analysis. Despite how similar or different they may be, these articles ultimately contributed to not only further understanding of psychological concepts, but further psychological research and overall exploration of the subject.